An unlimited time view. Subscriber is available to you.
Alright.
Expertly crafted.
Water is so flat today. I'm so excited. Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing some kayak fishing, but I'm excited to show you because yesterday I picked up a brand new kayak. I mean, it's used, but it's brand new to me, and it's in phenomenal condition. You gotta love Facebook Marketplace trades. We're over here on the Courtney Campbell Causeway. We're gonna be fishing for some sheepshead. There's some snook and some tarpon that have been caught recently, and a ton that have been sighted via ChatGPT. So I don't know exactly where he got the source from, but I know that there's sheepshead over here, and as always, that's the main thing that we're shooting for. So yeah, I'm super excited. Let's go ahead and get this kayak down and get the day started. Water. Okay. A little bit choppy out today, but it shouldn't be too bad. Right now it is 10:44 and high tide is at 1:30. So right now it's still rising tide. It's supposed to be pretty high up today. I see exactly how many sheepshead congregate in this area. Let's see what the Lord has for us today. I went and bought an anchor. So now, even though there is a current kind of ripping through here, I will be able to stand still, which I'm really excited about. The typical mushroom anchor, nothing super special, but we're gonna see exactly how she works. I'm just gonna drop it right over here. What I'm gonna go ahead and use first is ball head jig, what I was using the other day, but just want to see if there's anything biting right now before I throw the other ones on the line. So we're just going to drop it right in front of this piling right here, see if we can get anything. I just sink to the bottom. I got a few bites there. The thing about these medium heavy action rods is the fact that they set hooks really well if you get the timing right. Oh yeah, we got one. Yeah guys, we got a good one. Let's hope this is a sheepshead. Oh, this is a sheepshead. Gotta tighten the drag. Okay, this is a big fish. Guys, this is a really big fish. Oh my goodness, this is a really big fish. Okay. No. That was huge. Yeah, it was huge. I don't know what that was. That was a giant. All right, so we're gonna have to tie a whole new leader now. try and get this right back out. Oh man, that was a giant. I have no idea what that was, but we're gonna have to fight. My drag was all the way tight and it was still pulling it, so we're gonna try and get that one right back. Man, that was a giant. Absolute giant. Yeah, I did have the clip attached to the swivel. The swivel is okay, but the clip is the part that broke. So I'm just gonna tie it straight on the swivel this way. Definitely did not feel like a sheepshead. But hey, let's see if we can get a sheepshead on this one. Not so sure I want to hook back onto that fish because I don't really know what it is, but we'll see if we can get him again. I'm gonna eat some pizza. Oh, yep, we got one. Relax, 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 relax. Okay, we got ourselves a nice little pigfish, and we're gonna let him go because he is a really small one. But yeah, they're called pigfish because they oink. We can get a nice big, okay, come on man, like, not cool. Alright, let's get this in the water. If there's any big boys that want to get away from the boat. Oh, that's not where I meant to do it. Yes, sheepshead. Nice. Okay, so we do have some over here. Right through the top lip. That was such a subtle bite too. Good. Alright, you're not letting me take it out your mouth, buddy. Grab my pliers. Shut that back. Okay, you are a strong fish. You are young and healthy. I'm trying to get this out for you, but man. This is the after damage of my hook. Trying to get it out of his mouth. They hooked him really well. Let's measure you to see if you are big enough. Whether or not we gotta get you back. Yep, he's past 12, so he is a keeper. Keeper sheeper. He's a pretty one too. He's a very pretty fish. He got hooked really well. I'm not sure if that's like his intestines coming out or what, but we're gonna go ahead and put him in the bucket. Water here. Okay, so I just switched spots, so now we're gonna try and see if there's any sheepshead over in this area. I'm gonna drop the anchor down. Might be getting some bites here. Oh yeah, we got one. There we go. Ah, no, he came off. No, he didn't. He's just swimming this way. Okay. Oh yeah. Wow, that is the biggest ladyfish I've seen. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Relax. Relax. Ooh. Wow. Okay. This thing is a beast. Guys, look at this. This is by far the biggest ladyfish that I've caught. Man, let's measure this thing. They're not good eating fish, really, unless you know how to cook them. Which it's still an extremely complicated process. The best way to eat them is making fish balls, but that's again not really an easy thing to do. But this is a 23.5-inch ladyfish. 23.5. Wow, that is a good fish. Nice fish we got there. I didn't even know they got that big. I mean, I'm sure they could get a whole lot bigger. I haven't seen any. So we're gonna go ahead and cross here. There's a pretty big boat coming back through, and I really don't want to deal with them. Let's see if there's anything over here. The water's super clear today, but there don't seem to be any sheepshead that are feeding right now. At least not over here. But this is the little one that we got. Throw him back in that. Wow, yeah, a big sheepshead left on this castle. Wow, that was a big one too. I left it there. That's super odd. I don't know why they would do that, but it definitely wasn't there a couple of days ago. Man. Yep, we got something. We're gonna get him up out of the rocks. Make sure he does not get away this. Oh, another huge ladyfish. Okay, there are so many. Okay, there we go. All right, guys. So we're not really catching any more fish. We hooked that monster, and then we had the sheepshead, and there's a trout jumping over right in front of me. But we don't seem to be catching anything, so we're gonna go ahead and do verse of the day. Found this little calm area a little bit further inshore, away from all the waves. So today's verse of the day is Matthew 21:43, and this is New King James. Therefore I say to you, the kingdom of God will be taken from you and given to a nation bearing the fruits of it. Originally, Jesus was speaking to the Pharisees, rebuking the Jewish people as a whole, because basically they were unfruitful. They continued in disobedience to God and ran away from it. So the whole theme of the Old Testament in regards to Israel is this cat and mouse game, basically, between God and the Jewish people. God frees them from Egypt. They run into the desert. God does miracles for them and extreme provision, and then they end up worshiping idols. So then God disciplines them, rebukes them, shows them mercy and grace, and then gives them another opportunity, and then they do the same thing. And it's this kind of back and forth between the nation of Israel and God, which, to clarify, the nation of Israel is not some legal state. Paul states clearly that not all who are in Israel are of Israel, and that inheritance, that heritage that refers to God's people, was never just through bloodline or genealogy in itself. It was through faith. That's why he goes on in Hebrews with the hall of faith, and in Romans, justification by faith. I mean, we're saved by grace through faith alone. We can take parallels and kind of see where we're doing the exact same thing. So I don't know about you, but I can definitely think about times in my life where God was chasing after me. In fact, my whole life he was chasing after me, and I just kept running away. I mean, God tells the wind to move, and it moves. God tells the rocks to get up and walk from their place, and they'd get up and walk from their place. God tells the birds of the air to fly here, to go there, the fish, the currents, the wind, the moon, the stars. He commands all of these things, and they obey him. And yet the human heart, he tells us to follow him, and we have the audacity to tell him no. I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. The God of the universe has given us such power and free will to look at him and say no. And there is a dilemma with that, and kind of a paradox, because when When you see God rightly, there's no way in your right mind that you could possibly say no. There is, in a sense, an irresistible grace. To kind of clarify what I mean by that, if you run around your entire life with eating garbage that's been on the ground and you're picking food out of the dumpster, you think that that's normal to you because you've been doing it your whole life. You don't know anything better. The second that you get a taste of healthy, clean food, let's say a full steak, mashed potatoes, asparagus meal cooked at a 5-star restaurant, when you get that first taste of it, immediately your whole world is changed because you realize, what have I been eating my whole life? I don't want this anymore. I mean, you'd have to be an absolute fool to then go back and continue eating the garbage. It would create such a desire in you to eat that all of the time and not go back to that garbage that you seek after how you can possibly eat that every single day. If you didn't realize that you were holding this garbage your entire life, of course you have no problem just staying that way. So I say that to say that the second that God reveals himself to you and you realize that you've been settling for garbage, sin your entire life, and there's something that's so much better than that, living a life of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. I mean, the fruits of the Spirit compared to a life of sin, it's like, I'm not going to pick up this bag of dog poop and eat it if I can eat food that's healthy for me. I mean, at least that's the logical response, but as logical as we humans claim to be, we're very illogical when it comes to our relationship with God. If you consider yourself a fool, just know you're in a multitude of company. In fact, every single human that's ever existed has been foolish in God's ways. The main message for this today is that if we're not bearing fruit, that means that we're not abiding in him. Jesus promises us, he who abides in me and I in him will bear much fruit. So if I'm not bearing fruit today, it's because I've not spent time abiding in Christ, and therefore he's not abiding in me. This covenant is the same way that it is with a husband and a wife. If my wife is grieving and I'm not spending time with her, it's a two-way street. I can't say, okay, you're my wife, so you're just gonna take care of everything. Or she can't say, you're my husband, so you're just gonna take care of everything. And I expect you to give 100% when I'm giving 0. The thing is, although I love my wife and I'd want to do that for her because I love her, part of love is also recognizing if I do that, I'm leading her away from her true potential. I'd directly be getting in the way of the lessons that she needs to learn of, hey, like I deserve to be loved properly as well, and you're not going to do that if I keep allowing you to think that this is just a one-way street. And likewise, that's how it is between us and God. Now, the key part is we can't do it in our own power, and that's why he basically closes us in these 4 walls, where if we want to obey him, we have to abide in him. If we want to abide in him, we have to obey him. And it's this kind of like, where do we start? And the starting is, Lord, I can't do this on myself. I don't know how to understand you. I don't know how to seek after you. I can't do these things in my flesh. And what Scripture tells us, Paul specifically says, nobody seeks after God. Nobody understands God. Our natural state of mind is running away from God. What God is looking for is full reliance on him. I can't go out and say, okay, Lord, I'm going to bear much fruit and then I'm going to bring it back to you, because the issue is I can't walk with him, and I can't stand against the enemy in his power if I don't first sit at his feet. Sit, walk, stand. If I'm trying to labor for God before I'm just spending time with God, I'm doing it in my own power, and our good works are like filthy rags in his eyes. If there's any kind of exhortation I want to give you guys today, is that a relationship with God is something that you can absolutely have today, and if you already have a relationship with him, it's something that you can better today. You can seek after him in a new way that will give you a love, a joy, a peace more than anything that you've experienced before. I mean, as children, we can't grow complacent because he calls us deeper and deeper. I can't say, Lord, I've given you enough fruit, because the issue is, if I'm a born-again child of God, I'm being molded into the image of God. And if I look in the mirror and I don't see myself like as righteous as Christ, then there's work that needs to be done. Because although on this side of glory we will not reach perfection, there's a healthy striving for it. With an understanding, there is a wisdom of, Lord, I'm never going to be you. You did not die and make me God. I guess what I'm really trying to say is just like the nation of Israel, when the Lord rebukes him and says, like, yeah, I'm going to cut you off because you're not bearing any fruit. And just how he cursed that fig tree because it was fruitless. I don't want God to do that to me. And that if I truly love God, the last thing I want is to look up and see him disappointed because I'm not acting as a child ought. Like, I don't want him to discipline me in the same way that I wouldn't want my father on earth to look at me and say, dude, come on, man, what are you doing? Like, I've given you every reason to not go to that place, do that thing, talk to that girl. Why are you still doing this? He holds us accountable for the things that we know. There's a due diligence that we owe God in seeking after him. I mean, if we say that we love the truth, but we don't seek after the truth, we deceive ourselves. If I say that I'm a child of light and I walk in darkness, I'm deceiving myself. There's a real judgment that I need to have on myself. Like Spurgeon says, judge yourselves lest ye be judged. So I don't know about you guys, but I want to bear much fruit. Like I want to walk around with a confidence that if I died today, the first thing that God would say to me when I enter into his throne room is, well done, good and faithful servant. There's been so many moments where I don't feel that way. I know that God wouldn't say that to me right now because I'm acting in disobedience. And it's embarrassing. Like the last thing you want to do in any situation is get caught with your pants down, and especially with God. But this isn't supposed to lead you back into works and subject yourself back under the law in which you've been freed from. You're under grace, but that grace does something. Like Paul says in Romans, submitting our bodies as a living sacrifice to God is our reasonable service. Like that's just the logical thing to do in response to the grace that he's given us. So I want to encourage you today to do just that. If you know the grace of God, if you have experienced and tasted of his spirit and of his goodness, then live in such a manner that shows others that you have done so. Not in the sense of having to prove yourself to them, but presenting yourselves as a holy and honorable sacrifice to him. Presenting your bodies as a living temple that he's created. I mean, he's already done these things in you. If you have the Holy Spirit, he's already placed everything that you need for both glorification and sanctification, salvation, every age. He's already placed it in you. Don't run away from God. I don't know about you guys, but I think we've all done enough running in this lifetime, and our ancestors in their lifetimes, they've done plenty of running. In fact, we have enough examples of why it's a terrible idea to run away from God. So let's stop doing that. But it's 2:15 now. I think I might be out here for another hour. So let's see if we can catch some fish. I'm feeling good now. We did the word. We got blown away a little bit, but we're gonna see if we can catch something. And if not, then we got enough fish for ourselves, and that's more than we could ask for. I'm gonna go ahead and replace the battery so I don't die on you guys again, and I will see you when we get to the next spot. We got 6 shrimp left. Feeling a little bit hopeful that we can snag at least one more fish. All right, so we got a few more shrimp left. We're just keeping them whole on here. And we're gonna see if we can get us a sheepshead. Went ahead and threw the anchor down already. So let's try this shaded area. See if we can draw one out. Yeah. Well, that's what I love about these kayaks is even if I tried to tip myself over, it's very hard to do. I'm just gonna keep this tail simple, drop it straight down. Oh yeah, we got something. Yeah, nice little pigfish. All right, wink, wink, wink. Wink, wink, wink. Beautiful fish. Hooked right through the nose too. Wink. All right. Okay. Let's get her up. too many times I have not scaled them until after I fillet them, and it makes it a million times harder. The sheepshead have just really tough scales. They are not an easy fish to scale. Hey, go away. These birds are savages, man. I mean, you cannot do anything around them. Those teeth. Sheepshead.
Ooh, that's nice. This is a nice one.
Yeah, have you caught them before?
I think I have, but in El Salvador.
El Salvador? Is that where you guys are from?
I'm from there.
Okay.
You're from Puerto Rico.
No, Maryland.
Maryland?
Yeah.
I'm from Virginia.
Virginia?
Yes, sir.
Can we give them the boats some of that?
Yeah, the part that I don't keep, you guys can throw to them if you want.
We caught 3 fish and I caught 1.
You did? What'd you guys catch?
We caught like snapper.
Snapper?
Yeah.
Did you get to keep any or no?
No, they were way too small.
Okay.
The last one that he caught was like 1 inch below.
1 inch below? That's still pretty big. Because I think they have to be 10 inches, right? Yeah. So 9 inches
Like
is
9.
still a pretty good size.
Your last fish was like 9.
Yeah.
I caught like a lot of people the last time I came here.
You did?
Like about like
20. That's a lot. That's a good amount. Did you eat any or did you put them all back?
at the time some of them were tiny and some of them were like big, so most of them were tiny.
Gotcha.
So I only caught like 2.
Okay. That one was... If you want to throw it to the birds, you can grab it by the tail and then just throw it out there. But just keep it over there. All right, see you guys.